and we went live the minute I decided to take a sip of my coffee. Great.
Perfect. Good timing.
Good timing.
Hey, have you seen Mad Max yet?
No, have you?
Yeah, I went yesterday.
Oh, damn it. Okay, I do want to see it so bad. So,
Yeah, like I hadn't heard buzz for some media this like universal since like Daredevil when
mm,
that first premiered. But yeah, no, I was super excited to go see it. Um, I quite enjoyed it. Big surprise.
yeah. So,
Uh,
it's quite good.
I liked it a lot. Yeah, I won't say much about it because you're obviously going to go see it.
Yes.
I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. But yeah, no, that it's a fun, just ridiculous movie. There's crazy stuff. Um, I guess for people who have seen it, that guitar guy is ridiculous, and every time he shows up, I had a smile on my face. I'll just say that for you, just to
Okay.
tease it a little bit. Have you seen any of the Mad Max movies, the original ones?
Yes, I've seen one and one only
Okay,
years ago.
I haven't seen any of them.
Okay. I hear
After
I
seeing
fucked
this
up for
though,
not seeing two this long. So,
I have no idea. I want to go back and watch those other ones, and like I went with my girlfriend, and even she was like, "Yeah, we should watch the other ones because we both enjoyed this one quite a bit."
cool.
Um, but just like the color they use in all the scenes and stuff, like it's so bright and vibrant. It's really cool to see. I will say I'm gonna try and see if I can like point out my favorite scenes, so when you're seeing them, you can be like, "Oh yeah, this scene." Um, I'll say "In the Storm" is a really good
Okay.
scene. That's early on,
Okay.
and uh, I'll say motorcycles throwing grenades was another really cool scene. So
All right.
for anyone listening who's seen it already, they know what scenes I'm talking about. When you go, you can be like, "Oh, Sean likes this scene." So there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would recommend seeing Mad Max. It's a lot of fun.
I've heard some great stuff about it. I'm 3D Homer in the chat. It's actually the guy that does Burning Barrel podcast with me now every Monday night. And
Okay.
he saw it and he can't stop raving about it. So, like, it's piqued my interest from a few different people now. Even Nathan, I met up with Nathan at work one day, actually, that I had to do an extra shift for. He loved it.
Oh,
So,
okay. I didn't know he loved anything these days.
right? that's
So
that's why I'm really interested. I'm super
that
interested.
that's cool. Oh, I'm glad to hear he was into it too. I also actually the day before that I went and saw Pitch Perfect 2. Did you see that?
No. No, I didn't. I might
Yeah.
at some point, but
My girlfriend and her friends wanted to see it because they're big fans of the first one, and I was just like, I like going to movies. Um,
I'll go to a movie. Sure, why not?
yeah,
Yeah.
so in that, I feel like that movie is like how I feel towards the Step Up movies, where I'm like,
Sure. Yeah.
this storyline is just not interesting at all, but the art that you're doing, whether it be singing or dancing,
Yeah.
is nice. Like good
Sure.
for you. I can't do that, and you're doing a cool song or whatever.
Did,
So that's kind of how.
did the Bellas win?
I'm not gonna give you that spoiler. To
So
anyone
of course she
listening.
did.
Yeah,
They
no
did.
spoilers, man.
I'm
No
sure they did.
spoilers for the Bellas.
They're feel good
Um,
movies.
Anna Kendrick. I'm a fan of Anna Kendrick.
She has the same face in every scene, so that's good.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't like her very much at all. I
Okay.
don't think she's a bad actress. She chooses good parts too, actually. I just don't like something
Okay.
about her.
That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I don't know.
As people probably realize, but John's not here. I don't know why. Do you know why he's not here?
Yeah, he's heading down to Atlanta, I think. He's going to MomoCon this weekend and to do some
Oh, okay.
work stuff, recording with Emil and them, I'm guessing. So I think he's not even going to be here next week, but don't quote me on that. I can't remember specifically. But yeah, he left yesterday. So
Okay. All right. Yes, I knew he left yesterday, but he didn't mention that to me. It's not a big deal. But he has done MomoCon before. That is a
yes.
name I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he's back next week. Oh no, not next week. I hope he's back the week after that because that'll be the last episode I'm on for a couple of weeks when I head
Yeah.
to Europe.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can try and get a threefer. But
threefer.
yeah, so no third person this week. The third host is just the love between the two of us. that's who's going to be helping us out today.
Yes,
On the top down perspective of May 21st, 2015.
that was pretty smooth. That was actually pretty good. So
You're welcome. I'm I'm pretty smooth, just in general.
sure, sure.
Um, and that's Sean Booker talking with Paul Fleck.
Yes, hi.
Um, so like let's go into what we've been playing. I'll just say I'll just do me real first.
Yes,
I've been playing VLR. I'm not talking about that anymore.
you're done. You're done
You're
talking
done.
about
I
it.
mean, like I'm playing other stuff. I just can't talk about them yet. I guess I can say I'm playing Splatoon. I just can't say anything about it for another like week. I think it's like,
Really?
yeah, sometime next week. I think it's around the 26th. The embargo lifts for any kind of review purposes.
So next podcast, you will be able to divulge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should be able to. Yes. Actually, you know what I can say I was trying out is I was trying to play some of the online for Splatoon,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get a game going. Like I kept dropping connection because I guess my wireless wasn't good enough. So I ordered one of those USB adapters.
Yeah.
Works perfect. Solved every single problem. It was $10 on Amazon.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah, so if anyone's looking to go run a wired connection for the Wii U, I just searched like USB Wii U Ethernet adapter. The first one was like 9 something. It was like 300 reviews, 4.5 stars. You just plug it in, go. There's even a wired option on the Wii U. It was so easy. I was amazed.
Cool.
So yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's mainly just VLR because it's not ending, and I just want to finish it before I leave. So I'm 23 hours into that game. Hopefully this week I can finish it. But what have you been playing?
I haven't been playing very much new. So Polaris, for people that watch like YouTube videos, the network that John's part of, actually, now that I bring that
Right.
up, they did some of their bigger names or whatever did a sponsored content thing for Guns of Icarus Online again, which they did I think last year or 2 years ago or something when the game actually came out. So
Okay.
they did another thing to promote that game, and it made me remember, yeah, that was some good times. So figured I'd jump on, send a few messages to people that had played it with me before, and we somehow formed an armada. We had 3 ships against another enemy 3, and we were all in the same team speak, just like playing together, and that was great. Playing with like everybody on one side of the force there.
Is that like rare to do or something?
I'm sure it isn't, but it was just
Okay.
kind of a weird thing. The reason why it happened is because it went on sale as well. So for $8, you would get 4 copies of the game. So
Okay.
like one person would just buy that because that's the price of a discount game anyways, and then give 3 copies out to somebody. So we got a bunch of people in, had a fun time with that. For anybody who doesn't know what that game is, it is basically like a first-person shooter, only you are 4 people on an airship trying to make it float and like survive. You're doing dogfighting in the air.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll have like the engineer who's repairing stuff as you're taking hits or whatever. You have the pilot who's piloting, etc. So
Cool.
that's what that is. It is online only, so it's one of those ones that you play with random people. It's only death matches and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a good time. Other than that, Axiom Verge I went back into, and this is
You got a good chunk of it played.
a couple hours. Like,
Okay.
it's gonna be a slow burn one for me because Ori kind of burned me out on just like going hard into a Metroidvania. So now, like, I'm just taking my time whenever I want to play it. I'm not feeling like I have to finish it and see every secret and stuff. So
Okay.
I played a good few hours of that while just hanging out one night, and that was really fun. The music in that game is absolutely fantastic, and some of the weapons and upgrades you get are pretty cool. And not really what I was expecting to get a double jump or like something to get into these weird areas that look completely blocked off. It turns out like you get an item that's basically just like you push yourself through a wall. So
Okay.
that
Like a dash or something.
not even really. You just like go walk up to a wall and then you like double tap towards the wall and you just kind of like melt into it and then on the other side or something. It was
Okay.
really
like
weird.
Shadowcat from the X-Men.
Sure.
You just like phase through it.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
That game still continues to be great, though. I do like the aesthetic a lot, and that story seems like it might be convoluted, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna wait to play through all of it, get the ending and stuff, and then maybe read like a Wikipedia article about it and see like everything that's going on or what people are thinking is going on and all that sort of stuff. Maybe it'll
Right.
explain itself. I'm not sure.
I was planning to play some of that this week, but every time I had free time, it was just VLR.
Yes.
I just the mystery is just so rich. I need to finish it. But I'm wondering if I'm gonna feel kind of burnt out as well because like I did Ori in like 2 sittings. I was just like hooked
Exactly.
into it. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
This doesn't have that effect on me at all. Ori
Okay.
did. Like, it takes a kind of special game. It has to do something really well to make me sit down and just beat it in a session or two nowadays. But
Sure.
and this
Yeah,
doesn't have
that's
it.
rare for me. Cool.
Yeah. Other than that, we started our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. A few friends of mine and our DM who lives in California. His name's Tony, but he goes by Zedashade on Twitch. I don't know if he's hanging out or not. But anyways, that game is super fun. I could see why
This
people
is
were playing that in the 80s. This is a pen and paper. You create a
I was gonna say,
character
yeah.
sheet, you do rolls and all that
So
sort of
not
stuff.
so not no, we're not talking about like a video game version of it. This is like
We're not
tabletop.
talking
Okay.
Neverwinter Nights or like
Cool.
whatever the hell those ones were called. This is like the
So how
tabletop version.
so what how is your setup in how are you doing this over on the internet and stuff online?
There's a site called Roll20, and it's basically like almost like if you've ever worked in an office or something where you have a conference that everybody can join like through the internet or whatever, and you can see one screen like a presentation or something that
Right.
somebody's
Yeah.
giving. It's like that basically, but like with that presentation area is a grid, and the dungeon master can put down tiles and like different stuff, and you can move your own characters and all that sort of stuff, and there's a chat and there's like a role feature in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's how we're doing it with
Is
people.
that free?
It is free. You just have
That's
to make
great.
an account. That's all you have to
Cool.
do. Oh, and you have to know somebody who can teach you how to do it or spend time like learning it. But of course.
Right, but you don't need to like purchase an account or anything like that or the game or whatever.
Right, exactly. You don't have to
Cool.
do any of that. So yeah, we finally started our campaign. It's something that has been in the works for about 3 months now when we had originally had the idea, and everything came together this last Sunday. We did our first thing, and I've been streaming them, which has been fun because after that I've been getting random people saying like, this looks like fun, could I join at some point and whatnot. And the answer to that is a blanket no, because we have our party set up, but message me at some point and maybe we could see if
Maybe like season 2 or
yeah.
something.
Well, we're thinking like one-offs, like a single story scenario that you play for like 4 hours, sort of thing, for
Oh,
people to
okay.
just get a taste.
You're not coming back like every few days we'll continue the campaign.
No, so our main campaign is going to be every second Sunday. So
Okay.
every 2 weeks we're going to do. They're about 4 to 5 hours, so it gives us some time to live life in between, basically.
Sure. Yeah, that's a big commitment. Like
Yeah.
5 hours straight. Yeah.
Especially when you're considering we have one person in Kentucky, one person in Austin, Texas, a person in California, a person in Wisconsin now, me in Calgary, Alberta. Like, we're all in different time zones. So
Right. Right. And so I wasn't counting. How many of you guys are playing? 4 or 5? It seemed like.
there's 5 in the party right now because we had a friend of mine said, like, I wanted to know if I could join or whatever. I said, yeah, it's fine. He didn't want to bug us earlier, but I was like, no, you can come in. So we have 5 in the party and then the dungeon master.
Cool. Okay. So if people want to join up on this, how do they reach out?
You won't join up
For the
in this,
future.
but for
Right.
like consideration of stuff in the future or whatnot, just tweet me, I guess.
Cool.
Even if you like just
All right.
tweet the top down perspective Twitter, like I read that too.
Sure. Exactly. Cool.
Yeah.
What's the website again?
What's that?
What's the website again? that
Oh,
you're
I'm
using?
sorry. It's Roll20, ROLL20.
Okay. Cool. For people out there. Great.
Yep. Yeah. So that's all I've been playing.
Great. Let's go on to the news. This is probably going to be a shorter episode this week. There wasn't a lot of news. There's only 2 of us, but we do have a lot of questions, which is good.
Yes.
Just announced today the Need for Speed game that's coming this year. We knew there was going to be one.
Yes.
It's going to be a reboot.
Okay.
So picture this. Instead of a game about fast cars, it's going to be a game about fast cars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You caught me
Yeah.
off guard because you said instead of.
I'm just like, it's like, how do you reboot a racing game? It's just
Yeah.
Um,
You make it
some of
Burnout
the-
Paradise.
some of the artwork that had been showing up there, screenshots, was making it seem like it might have been something tied to Need for Speed Underground, just with the color scheme and the cars you were driving.
Okay.
But all we know so far is there's going to be a big reveal at E3. It's from Ghost Games, so what is left of Criterion.
Yep.
It's coming to PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and there's going to be deep customization, authentic urban car culture, whatever that means. A nocturnal open world, so nighttime, great,
Sure.
and an immersive narrative that pulls you through the game.
Amazing.
Yeah,
is good
so
news.
Basically, like, we've had all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Need for Speed, whatever it's going to be called, but it's being rebooted. That's the silliest thing.
Yeah.
As well as silly things I saw. Turns out, next week when Splatoon comes out in the States, if you buy it from Target, you can get a free Target exclusive Splatoon squirt gun, as in a water gun,
That's great.
for free, just with purchase of the game.
You better do it.
I already have a copy of it, so I'm not
Doesn't
going
matter.
to do it.
You should do it. Oh yeah, I
Not-
guess you could just buy like a really good $60 water gun instead of the game and get a shitty little one.
That's true. I could. Although I don't have a hose, and we're in a drought.
That's right.
So there's no way I'm having a water gun fight right now. Yeah, like, even if I started that, it's just everyone walking by. Oh, look at that asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, if you're in the States thinking of going to Splatoon, I haven't seen a better deal. So this is the most bang for your buck. Get that squirt gun.
I don't disagree. You should, like, if you don't have the game yet and you want a squirt gun,
I mean,
you
like,
should do
why
it.
not?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's how much. Think of all the other games you've purchased where you're like, I wish this had come with a squirt gun, and how disappointed you were. Well, Target's got your back.
Cool.
And last little bit of news is in Japan, the 8 GB Wii U, so the white one, is being discontinued.
Okay.
Which seems like, of course it was. I think it was becoming hard to find over here as well.
Why would they ever
don't-
release an 8 gig version? Like,
Why would I was gonna say why? Who bought the 8 GB one?
nobody.
Who was honestly like, oh, I'm gonna save $50, and get not an HDMI cable, not get what was else, like a stand for your controller or whatever.
Yeah.
Not get a game.
A game.
And they started bringing out all those like bundles with like 2 games, Nintendo Land plus something and stuff. So, and also I don't know about you, but my Wii U is constantly full.
Mine isn't, but that's it. It definitely can get there because I was doing a lot of digital download, and now I've started going out and buying the discs because it will
Okay.
get to that point if I don't.
Yeah, I usually mostly just do the downloads, and Bayonetta 2 took up so much space I had to delete
Yes.
that.
Yes.
But at least it's technically not discontinued in America yet.
Okay.
But in Japan, they are no longer going to be selling that. So I'm assuming sooner or later that'll be the same thing in America.
It shouldn't have ever existed. Like,
Yep.
of course it's going out.
I honestly, when I saw the news article and I saw the white Wii U, I was like, oh, right, there is a white one. I
Right.
don't know a single person. I've never seen a white Wii U like in real life.
I've never even heard anybody, like, over Twitter or something say that they got an 8 gigabyte one.
Yeah, I honestly don't know of the existence of someone purchasing that. I would love to hear the argument of I couldn't spend $50 more. Like, save up for another like 2 weeks. Like, you'll be so much happier.
If you were the guy that bought this version, please write in at topdownperspective@gmail.com. I would love to hear why.
That's true. Excellent addition. That is true. But speaking of which, that's going to end news and we'll go into questions. So once again, that email address was topdownperspective@gmail.com. We also take questions on Twitter. It's at TDP Podcast. And there's the The Facebook group. Facebook
Oh
group.
yeah, Facebook.
Search. I've
Holy
been
shit.
posting the episodes on there. Just
Oh,
saying.
cool. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So you can send in questions to there as well.
Yeah.
Um, I'll read this first one. It's from Joey. He writes in a few. First one. Recently, I started playing the 3D remaster of the Sega arcade game Fantasy Zone on my 3DS, which I found myself enjoying a lot, despite being absolute crap at it, even on the easiest mode. I was also surprised to have not have heard of this game before seeing it in the eShop. Are there any classic games that you found you hadn't heard of or heard particularly nothing about until they were later re-released, updated or not, on a later platform?
Oh my god, there was definitely something that happened just like this year with that, and I can't remember what the hell it was now.
There's a lot of remakes where I didn't play the original one, but it's not like I didn't know they existed. Because
Sure.
often the bigger games, often a lot of the games that are getting remade are of these like cult classics that they just want to bring up back, like Grim
Sure.
Fandango, for example. But I'm trying to think if like I didn't know about a game, it got remade, and I was like, I guess I will check this out. I guess maybe what was that one for the Xbox One that was like just like put on hold or almost canceled? The card battling one. It's not out. You know
Hmm.
what I'm talking about? It was
I
an
don't.
Xbox game originally. They announced it at E3 last year. Oh, what was it? I can't remember. Maybe the chat will tell me. But I probably would have checked that out. Um,
I didn't know they released like an HD remastered version of the Sly Cooper games until I saw it in a store one day. I didn't care enough to
I
buy it, but
I knew I'd seen those. Yeah, for sure. Um, but again, like yeah, I would have played that
yeah,
if I had time. But I knew about the Sly Cooper games, obviously. I'm trying to think. I can't really think of anything I didn't know about that was remade, unless it was just something like super obscure. But in that case, I probably wasn't quite really playing it because it wasn't
sure.
on my radar at all.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I can't think of one at the moment.
Yeah.
Second question though, not video game related, but have any of you seen the latest Simpsons couch gag featuring Rick and Morty from Rick and Morty? Or do any of you watch Rick and Morty? It's a show about a guy named Rick and a guy named Morty.
I've heard I should watch that show. I've never seen anything about it, but I've heard that I would like it apparently.
This was the first time I had heard of this. I looked up the couch gag and watched it, and it was humorous.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I have no idea what this show is, so no.
Okay.
And last one from Joey. Are there any mini games within larger games that you would like to see spun off into their own games, a la Captain Toad or the mini games from Kirby Triple Deluxe? If not the actual mini games themselves, then at least concepts for mini games that you'd like enough and you want to see used in their own solo game.
Huh.
Immediately, I was thinking of some Rhythm Heaven games that I really
Yeah.
liked specifically. However, I couldn't see a lot of those being their own game because they're just like one button games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there are a few Rhythm Heaven ones where it's like I will go and play that one specifically a few times, or I will turn Rhythm Heaven on just to play that one a few times. Um,
I'm trying to think of what
I
had
could
some good
see
mini games.
I could I could see Game and Wario. However, those games I wouldn't exactly say they're mini anymore since they're a bit bigger than the usual. They're much bigger than the usual WarioWare micro games.
Hmm.
Um, but I could see you could push some of them even further, like the one where the mum is coming into the room and that got its own stage in Smash Bros. That would have been cool.
Hmm.
Junkie in the chat is saying the sex mini game from God of War should be a solo game. All right, thank you for that.
I'm so glad Junkie's back.
Um, oh, here's one Spartacus. Golf in GTA 5. Yeah, how come there aren't any golf games? They should look into that.
Because they don't sell, I think.
No, I'm totally kidding.
Yeah.
Um,
Hot Shots.
trying to think any other games where there was mini games in it I liked. Kind of just a little side note. Remember in Project Gotham Racing when Geometry Wars was just in there?
Yes. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was awesome. That was so great.
Yeah, that was
That
good.
was I like that way more than Project Gotham Racing. Um, I'm just trying to think of games that had mini games in them I've been playing recently.
Like, it's annoying because I feel there's something. I'm just trying to remember what. Like, in those games where you go up to, like, an arcade machine and you can actually use the arcade machine in the game and, like, play a little game or something. Like,
One that's coming to mind is like, didn't Smash Bros have with like the street passing some kind of like mini game mode? I played it so randomly because I did not enjoy it, but that's an example of one I would not want to see split off.
the fly swatting game in Mario Paint is a great, great call.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. You want to take this one?
Yes, Henry writes in with two questions. First one, do you guys find it hard to get excited over Kickstarters after the disaster that was Broken Age and all the things and all of the things Concept are cutting from Mighty Number 9, not to mention all the other hundreds of failed concepts? I sure find it hard to get excited. I don't get excited about anything because it makes me enjoy them when they come out more.
I wouldn't say Broken Age was a disaster. Like it did get pushed back quite a bit.
I was
But
going to
I'm
ask if you, like, what's he referring to? I don't keep up with Broken Age stuff.
mainly just when they finally finished it, they had to broke it in half. They had to break it in half because it was taking so long. And then Act Two, like Act One, came out. I want to say like February of last year, and then this one took another year plus to get Act Two out. And it just kept getting pushed back over and over. So I guess just kind of that. I guess I don't find it hard to get excited over Kickstarters. I don't back a lot of Kickstarters,
No, I
so they're
don't.
not really on my radar. The ones that kind of pop up for me are usually ones that get so much like attention right away that they get funded immediately,
Yes.
and then it's like, well, it's going to come out, and oh, it is interesting. Well, I guess I'm going to be playing it. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if I watched Kickstarters a bit more closely, then I might have a stronger opinion. But for the most part, I haven't really been burned that much. Like I believe FTL was a Kickstarter game, right? I love FTL. Wasn't Shovel Knight also Kickstarted?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like I'm with you. I've actually never kickstarted like back to Kickstarter ever.
I've backed a couple card games, but I haven't backed any video games.
Okay.
No specific reason why. Um, just haven't really done it. But I'm looking forward to Amplitude. Um,
Mhm.
so I would say I don't really find it hard to get excited. Um,
Sure.
there's always other games out there, so I guess I don't really get too bummed out when a lot of games go bad, like because there's always going to be something else. The only time I would, I guess, be bummed out is if it was a game I was super looking forward to, but I haven't come across that with Kickstarter yet.
Sure. Okay, his second question. Can you recommend me any YouTubers that do in-depth game critique / analysis, something along the lines of Satchbag or Super Bunny Hop?
No, maybe you can. You follow that a bit more.
I mean, for PC gaming, Total Biscuit is like the guy, basically, for that stuff, to the point where for bigger games and stuff, he will spend 20 minutes just like looking up the different stuff you can do in the menus and seeing how that affects like your graphic card performance and all that shit. So
Okay.
for PC gaming, him. If you just want somebody to like talk a lot about stuff they love, but like the whole episode will basically be about one subject, I really like Happy Console Gamer. I think that's his name. Their name.
I have no idea. This is
Johnny
out of my-
Millennium and Robman. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Happy Console Gamer HCG Show on Twitter, but it's just Happy Console Gamer on YouTube. Those guys are great, and their enthusiasm is infectious. So if they did an episode on something you like, that'll probably be good for you. Super Bunny Hop's a good one. You already know. I mean, if you wanted specific people for specific games, best choice is to look up the game you want like an analysis on, and then click the one with like the highest views that doesn't say review or let's play in it. Or like, no, sorry, says review, not let's play in it. That's probably my best answer for that.
I guess the closest thing I could say is like because I listen to more game podcasts as opposed to YouTube stuff. But
Yeah,
Patrick Klepek now does a lot of stuff on YouTube. So he's a game journalist I quite enjoy following. So there would be one recommendation.
cool.
All right, the Great B Man writes, with the recent success stories on Kickstarter involving Yooka-Laylee and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, I feel that the games I've been waiting to play again are finally coming back. How about you? Are there any other genres or subgenres, if you will, you'd like to see revived this way?
Old school survival horror,
Yeah, you want that to come back?
like weird item management and weird like things that they're
So,
trying to do.
so you were sad about Silent Hills then?
Honestly, yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually pretty bummed.
Um, I'm trying to think of a genre that just isn't around much anymore that I'd be excited for.
hmm
Um, Immediately I thought like I, I was about to say Viva Pinata, but we have simulators of everything, and I feel like Farming Simulator is almost kind of
Mm,
the evolution of that.
yeah.
And they're still making Harvest Moon if I really wanted to.
hmm
I would love a new Viva Pinata though. Yeah, I can't think of many genres that have just like completely gone away. Like you
Yeah.
can usually find them in weird areas, and there's so many indie games now that are just kind of picking up the slack everywhere. Um, but I guess yeah, I am excited for Ukulele and Bloodstained. You know, I played a lot of platformers when I was younger. Um,
Sure.
and after Ori, and I do like Metroidvania quite a bit.
Yep.
Symphony of the Night was great. Um, yeah, come on, anything coming to mind? I'm just blanking completely. He also says, what do you think caused the sudden influx of Kickstarter successes? When the idea of Kickstarter for games first launched, we saw lots of people getting really excited with things like Mighty Number Nine and Broken Age, then known as Double Fine Adventure. But then it sort of quieted down until now. What happened? Was it just these big names or something more? I'm not saying there haven't been success stories before, just nothing as big a deal as we saw this past month. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. Yeah, I mean, I kind of go. He does say he's not saying there haven't been success stories before, but I want to say Kickstarter's been pretty big for a while. Like Amplitude was a pretty huge one that was getting a lot of press.
hmm
Um, I feel like these last two were just kind of with his last question because they're concepts that were so popular at one point, as
Yeah.
opposed to just something new. Like
Honestly,
FTL's is
it's all
quite unique.
people reliving nostalgia, and like what's happening is people are seeing, like the creators are seeing that there's place in the market again for what they used to do well or whatever, and they can make that shit by themselves. They don't need a publisher anymore because like the Castlevania games people know. So he's just going to do his own thing now. The Mega Man games people know. So Mighty Number 9, like he's going to do his own thing now. So it's become very much more indie focused where people are willing to pay for like their nostalgia and stuff that's been proven that they like. And there's just been a resurgence of that stuff basically happening.
Right, and I think that's been there the whole time.
Yes.
Um,
It's not just like picked
and I
up
feel like
now.
we get kind of a big one every now and then. Like I mentioned,
Yeah.
Amplitude, Shovel Knight got pretty big
Yes, it did.
last year. Um, and then yeah, we got the two this last month for sure.
hmm
None really are coming to mind. But then yeah, you do get quieter stuff like FTL, which isn't like a resurgence of anything. It's a pretty unique game itself.
Yep.
But I guess yeah, it gets bigger noted when there's some like named talent behind it, like you said, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, James writes in, have you ever run into a sequel to something where it fixes a problem the previous game had, but fixes it twice? My example being in Professor Layton and the Last Spectre, they added in a fast travel system to get from place to place easier, because that was kind of an issue with the previous one, but I found Mistillery?
Miss
Mistal-
Tallery.
Mistillery to be such an amazing place to travel through. I never felt the need to use it. How does that fix it twice?
Yeah, I'm a little confused about the first sentence.
Mm,
I think what he means is but it kind of like makes it worse.
Like they
Because
fixed what people bitched about, but they kind of like overlooked why
I think that's what
something.
he's asking. Yeah,
Okay.
the first sentence is a little confusing, but his example makes it seem that way. So yeah, examples of games where there was an issue, they patched it in some way or they addressed it in some way, but
Hmm.
it didn't quite solve the issue or it brought in its own issue. I think the one he gave is a good one. One thing I'll mention in his answer is even though they add in the fast travel system, you don't have to use it. You can still walk, which I
Hmm.
feel like that's the best of both worlds. If you are feeling like this added bonus is taking away from it, well, at least it doesn't have to be there. Um, I kind of mentioned this last week with VLR, in which you're jumping around through different points in the story through the branching narrative,
Yeah.
and I was getting confused of where it was, and it's great that I can jump to these points because in 999 you had to keep restarting and then fast forwarding to the new section where it branches off in a different way,
Sure.
and it's great that I can switch around, but I was finding myself a bit lost, like wait, what's happened in this specific thread? And that's completely on my like it's great that it addresses that the downside me being confused, but that's completely on my fault. I just need to go back to the flowchart and read a bit longer as opposed to just trying to jump around so quickly, which is almost the exact same thing he's mentioning, but another example there. Um,
I really liked how Mass Effect did weapons in the first one with cooldown periods, and you could like do different stuff to like make the cooldown period longer and do more damage, or like maybe get two shots off. Like you could alter weapons a little bit more, and then
did it
they
not have
added
cooldown the whole time?
no, they added clips later
Oh,
on,
okay.
which
Okay.
like like there was a whole sciencey reason behind it, or whatever. It's like shaving off little pieces of metal and shooting them out at a high speed, or blah blah, whatever the fuck it was. I can't even remember now. But at the end of the day, you're picking up ammo for laser guns. Lame, really fucking
Right.
lame.
Well, Mass Effect kind of got more and more to like standard shooter.
Yes, they did.
So, obviously, yeah. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of an example that isn't like really similar to what he just mentioned.
Mm.
Um, I guess one kind of similar. I remember in Need for Speed Most Wanted, the second one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the most recent Most Wanted title because it
Yep.
had there's two Most Wanted games. They had the open world kind of aspect and challenges that Burnout Paradise had, which was great. But the only way to like do them was to like set up these playlists.
Mm.
Uh, so it was like, oh great, you're doing more Burnout Paradise stuff, but you're like limiting how frequently I can do what I'm wanting to do. This is weird, and I understand the idea is like, well, when you go online now, you can play like two challenges, a race, and two time attacks or something, and we'll just give them to you one after the other, and that's fast and fluid and great. But what if I only want to do just one of them? I remember being quite frustrated with that. So there's another example. And I guess if the pattern continues, I get to do the NPD numbers.
Uh.
Matthew writes in. Uh, The Xbox One sold, so I guess this is for April. Xbox One sold 187,000, PlayStation 4 174,000, Wii
Okay.
U 43,000,
Mm-hmm.
3DS 116,000. Wow, but the new one came
The
out
new
in
one
April,
came
didn't it?
out.
That's
Yes.
right. Vita TV 2.5 thousand. Speaking of which, that the Vita TV has been $40 for the last week down here.
Really?
I almost picked one up because like $40, sure. But then I was like, I have no use for this thing at all.
You should have though. Like.
I but I was thinking like I should have it just to have it, but see the difference between me and John is I'm not going to soon have a museum
Right.
to collect all these things in. It'll just go in a box.
Right.
Like it's like what am I going to use the Vita TV for? Okay, I can place some Vita games on my big screen TV. That's great. What do I feel like blowing up? What am I playing on my Vita? Oh, I'm playing like Ollie Ollie Binding of Isaac. Oh wait, I have those on my PS4. So why don't I just play it on my PS4?
Right.
Okay, what can I not play? VLR. I'm playing a lot of VLR right now. But I like laying in my bed or playing it on the train. Why do I want to sit in front of my TV and read a bunch of text.
Answer is you don't.
Exactly. I was straining, being like, do I have any use for this?
At all.
No, I don't. I
Yeah.
don't have two TVs set up anywhere. Like, okay.
These last three numbers are hilarious.
What is the Mojo?
I'm not sure.
MOJO. It's an acronym. Mojo sold 27.
I'm sure
Is
we'll
that just
hear about it.
is that just like literally 27? Like not
Yes,
27? That's amazing.
that's literally 27.
But it says the Shield. The Shield 33. That can't be. That's way too low. That's got to be bigger.
the
That's a
Nvidia
name.
Shield.
The Nvidia Shield is like a thing.
Is it? People don't talk about it anymore, though.
I could see. There's no
33
way it
might
sold
be
just-
right.
I don't know, man. Ouya sold 3. I can see that.
Yeah. Actually, that number seems a bit high, if you ask me.
But again, like 3,000. Like, okay, maybe I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
XB3D. What is this?
XB
Xenoblade 3D.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Less than 75,000.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat X, more than 1.25 million. PS4, approximately 58.7%.
Cool. That's probably because their PC version of it was kind of broken for the first couple days, or at least the first day.
Okay, he puts DS2. Is that Dark Souls 2?
I would assume so, yeah.
Dark
Because
Souls 2, approximately.
that new
100
version came out.
Oh, okay, there you go. 105,000. PlayStation 4 was approximately 51%. Xbox One, approximately 42%. MLB The Show 15, more than 120,000 for PS4. Wow.
That's
Holy smokes.
people love that series. I've never played it because I don't like baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, you are. Mario Party 10, unfortunately, sold way too much at
Yeah.
64,000. That's really sad. That is a lot of sad kids.
Yeah.
Bloodborne, 83,000. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze Limited Edition, less than 500,000.
Lifetime to date.
Lifetime to date. There we go. Okay, lifetime to date, less than 500,000. Okay, that game's good.
Cool. All right. Next question comes from Ryan Lee, or Ryu Zenmaru, I guess, on Twitter. With Heroes of the Storm reaching beta, it's actually out on open beta now, by the way. Do you think the community will be like other MOBAs, such as Dota and League? No, for one big reason. You can't do all chat to the other team. So you can't berate your own team members by telling the other team that this Diablo is fucking terrible or whatever. The other team can't make fun of you through the chat, and there's no voice over IP thing in there. There's no voice. So it won't be that bad. That being said, it is a video game where you play with other people, so it will still be a video game where other people can call you names if they want to, like in your team. But it won't be as bad, probably. And last question I just pulled from...
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought it was a double question again.
No, this is the last question. I just pulled it from the chat. If you could give one piece of advice to a younger you from 5 years ago, what would it be and why?
And this is by Junkie GS, by the way.
Yes.
5 years ago. Okay. All right, got the time period. What would I do? Go to a different university. What else? What else? I would have probably told myself to be more social at university.
Oh, were you
That was basically-
not very?
Not too much, no. And I'm a lot more social now, having moved down here and being in a college town, basically.
Yeah.
And just seeing like the change in that was like, yeah. So I guess a lot of these are the advice is a good time for me because I was going to university.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I cannot stress enough. Be as social as possible. Man, I was dumb. What else? One piece of advice.
What is it? May 2015, so that would be May roughly summer-ish.
2010, yeah.
I would just tell myself it's going to get better. Don't worry about it. That was a bad time. 2010. That was a bad year.
2010 was a great year for movies, though.
Yes,
Dude,
you're right.
100,
It was
127 hours. Toy Story 3, King's Speech, Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass came out. I
Kick-Ass is
love that
great.
movie.
Yeah, it's
Kick-Ass
great.
is so good.
It is. I
Oh,
agree with you.
Switch to Kryptonite? Oh, so good. I literally, during that scene,
Yeah.
the fire scene,
Yeah.
was like freaking out in my seat in the theater. It was so cool.
It
And I
was
went
so
home,
good.
and the next morning found that scene online and watched it like 10 times in a row because it was so cool. I have never had
It's super
movie
depressing though.
experience. It is super depressing, but just how cool it was and the music was perfect. I've never had a better movie going experience.
It was really good.
than
Yeah.
than that scene from Kick-Ass. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I guess that's about it. Okay, what's my game of the week is VLR by default. What's your game of the week?
I guess my game of the week is Dungeons and Dragons. That was fucking
Dungeons-
great.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Again, if people want to send in questions for next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, or the Facebook group. Just search Top Down Perspective. We'll be back next week. I doubt John will.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not sure he will either. So
I don't know what his schedule's like. But hopefully we'll see you guys then.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in.
bye.